Lesson 26.
Padre, madre.
Okay, Antonio, probably a lot of people, if they've studied Spanish at all, are familiar with the words madre and padre. Those are pretty common words, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
But would you say that these other words, papa and mama, are more commonly used?
I would say just like in English, where dad and mom are more common than father and mother, because father and mother is more of a more formal way of saying it.
So would you say that the word dad is a pretty good English translation or an English equivalent for the word papa?
Yes, I would say so. Same thing with mom and mama. They're very similar.
So it's almost like an exact equivalent, really.
And the same thing goes for father and padre and mother and madre.
Okay, that's good to know. And we want to remind our listeners that the accent's on the last syllable of papa and mama.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want anyone out there to say papa or mama, because that's not the right way to pronounce it, right?
Yes. Now, on the first two words that we learn here, padre and madre, the accents go in the first syllables as opposed to the last syllables. Don't say padre or madre. No. Padre, first syllables. Madre, first syllables.
So it's really important to put the emphasis on the correct syllable.
Yes.
Now, with the word papa, if you put it on the wrong syllable, it actually changes it into a different word, right?
Yes, if we say, the correct way of saying it is papa. But if we say the accent on the first syllables, it would say papa. Papa means potato in Latin America.
So we don't want anyone to accidentally call their dad potato, right?
Yes.
That might not be okay. Good.
That's right. And then mama, you have to say mama because mama means something else, but we don't have to worry about that wording in this book because it's a more complicated word.
So we don't want them to put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, Bill.
Okay. One last thing to mention, padres, that's plural. The plural form of padre, it means parents, not necessarily fathers.
Most of the times, padres just means parents, both your father and your mother. But it can also mean just fathers if you happen to be at a place where there's only dads. Those are also padres. But in a general sense, it just means parents.
Now, in our book here, when we say padres, when we use the word padres, we basically are using it to mean parents. Well, with that in mind, let's jump into the exercises. In exercise number 1, hola means hello, and mama would mean something like mom in English. So number 1 says, hello, mom. In number 2, we have buenos dias, which means good morning, and then papa, which means dad. So, good morning, dad. Number 3 is not really a complete sentence. It's just a sort of a fragment here. Tus padres, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, padres commonly means parents. And then we have the word tus, which is also plural. So, tus padres means your parents. In number 4, we have buenas noches, which means good evening or good night. And then padre means father. So number 4 could mean good evening, father, or it could mean good night, father, depending on the context. In number 5, we have the word padres again in the plural there, and that means parents. But this time it's mis padres, so it's my parents. In number 6, we have the greeting buenas tardes, which means good afternoon. And then we have mi, which means my, and hija, which means daughter. So number 6 says, good afternoon, my daughter. In number 7, we have the word muchacho, which means young man, with an indefinite article, un, so that means a young man. And then we have the same thing, but in the feminine gender, una muchacha, the indefinite article una, and muchacha, that means a young woman. So number 7 altogether says a young man and a young woman. And number 8, adios means goodbye, And mis amigos means my friends. Of course, the word amigos is masculine and plural, so it could possibly be referring to a group of males only, or it could also possibly be referring to a group of friends of mixed gender. But either way, number 8 says, goodbye, my friends. And number 9, buenas noches means good night or good evening. And mamá y papá means mom and dad. So number 9 says, good night, mom and dad, or good evening, mom and dad. And number 10, buenos dias means good morning, and madre means mother. So number 10 says, good morning, mother,